Alright, so we're kicking off today's stream with a bit of a meme. So, new expansion. We got a few new, well, quite a few new things to play with among this new region that they introduced. And in that new region, there is a new mechanic called Predict. Predict says pick a card from among three in your deck, shuffle the deck, and put that card on top. So you look at three random cards in your deck, and you get to choose to put one on top of it. So on the surface, this is a mechanic that lets you smooth out your draws. So pretty good for like mid-range control deck to be able to set up its future plays in that way. And with the Predict mechanic, we got a few Predict payoffs. Probably the most notable among them is this one here, Khahiri the Return. So he's a 6 mana 4/4 with Fearsome. Not very impressive. But he says, when I'm summoned, create a copy of me in your deck. When you see me in a prediction, grant all allied copies of me everywhere, +2/+2. So the idea with this deck was trying to abuse this ability in such that we want to create very, very big Kahiris and draw them turn after turn. And so one of the ways we can help ourselves do that, because you only ever have 3 of them in your deck by default, very unlikely to be able to see him in a prediction. We're combining the card... we're combining Khahiri with this card here from P&Z called Counterfeit Copies. Pick a card in hand, create 4 exact copies of it in your deck. So we're trying to put as many copies of Khahiri in our deck as possible, such that we can see him with every prediction that we do. Sometimes we can even see him twice. And again, every time we see him, he gets +2/+2 and becomes fearsome. And because we have seen him, if we so choose, we can put him on top of our deck, draw him, and hopefully start doing that turn after turn. So that's kind of what this deck's looking to do. It's a kind of a, just a big beatdown style deck that's looking to go into the late game, beat our opponents up with these giant, 10-10, even 12-12 or higher fearsome units. So with that in mind, we have things like, we're playing things like Exhaust and Mystic Shot, Quicksand to help keep us alive, control the board in the early game, Preservarium for some card advantage. We have as many Predict cards in the deck as we can put so that we can maximize our chances of finding Kahiris. Some big other beaters that we don't mind running. Ruin Runner is a particularly good card by itself, but when paired with something like Xenotype Researchers, it's even better. I like Xenotype Researchers in the deck. It's a reasonable 3-drop, and since we're predicting anyway, good chance we can find as consolation prizes, if not our big Kahiris, then other things that the Xenotype Researchers procced onto, and like a 9/7 Overwhelm Spell Shield Ruin Runner is very good. Yeah, Bakai Sandspinner in here, kind of like our other vulnerable card here to help us control the board, and some Spirit Fires as well up at the top end. And Rite of Negation, just a solid answer to big spells. Like if someone wants to ruinate us, or maybe Vengeance, a big Khahiri or something like that, we can stop that from happening, punch through for lethal. And the nice thing about some of these cards that help us stay alive in the early game, things like Exhaust, Quicksand, and Spirit Fire, because our Khahiri is fearsome, we can use them to push damage in the late game if we have 1 or 2 big boys on the field, reducing our enemy's attack and then allowing him to become unblockable, essentially, which is very, very fun. So don't expect this deck to be very good, but I've been playing around with it against the AI just for fun. And so I think we're going to try it against people today. I'm sure it's not going to go too well. In fact, I expect this deck to be so poor, I don't think we're even going to bother with the ranked queue for this one. We're just going to save ourselves the frustration, just play a normal queue. See if we can do the thing once or twice and call the meme a success before we move on to something else. Really hoping we see kind of more support for an archetype like this as more of this latest expansion gets released. I think that could be very fun, but we'll have to see. Sly Scout, is that worth keeping on 3, or do I want to find other things? I think I want to find other things. We have a lot of things to play on too. I'm sure we could very likely draw into a 3-mana play by the time we get there. Go ahead and play this to start. I think I'll take the card advantage rather than the predict. They look like they're more control. They're like a control mid-range deck, so we want to keep up with their card advantage.
Never again will we fall to Dragonfire.
It's not that bad because this is about to turn into a 2/2, so this doesn't have a profitable attack. I might just play another Preservarium here. Yeah, I'm fine with that. That said, they are an Aurelian Soul deck. Like, they are going to be going bigger than we are in the long run, so we do want to start applying pressure sooner rather than later. That's a pretty good hit, actually. Alright, so I'll put this into play, I think, because...
That's new. You're provoking it.
Dragon blood, Demacian heart.
Could exhaust and attack her, but I don't think that's worthwhile. Let's do this and see what we find. That's an 8/6 Bakai Sandspin. I think I'll take that.
Careful.
Okay, we got a quicksand for that, if we so choose. Do we have anything else we'd like to do? Alternatively, I could actually exhaust plus play the Bakai Sand Spinner, and then they don't have that great attacks. I guess they could hook the Sand Spinner with the Dragon and then attack in with Shyvana. What would I rather do? I don't want to play the Rune Runner. They probably just trade off with their Challenger unit. I feel like I have enough exhaust effects. Maybe it's fine to exhaust this. Play this. Alternatively, I could just quicksand this pre-combat. Doesn't seem amazing.
The soul wears away like grains of sand.
Now they could have a pump spell to like get this back up to a high enough level to take this out, but if they really want to spend a pump spell to kill my 3/3 with the dragon, I think I'm okay with that. Probably play the other Bakai Sand Spinner the next turn, so we could take both of these out. It might be risky though. We might want to just open attacks with this and keep up Rite of Negation. There's a counterfeit copies that we need for our Khahiri if we find him eventually. This is a 4. I kind of want to kill both things. But I really can't afford not to keep up Rite of Negation, I don't think.
Fall to pieces.
This dragon's probably going to get the chow down on us one more time. Yeah, see, I had a feeling they would play a card like this, so now the question is, do I want to... No, I can't save my guy either way. It's just Rite of Negation. Now, do I kill my 2/2 and put myself behind a mana, or do I... the 2/2's just gonna get eaten by the dragon anyway, right? So I'll just kill my 2/2. In the round, bank the spell mana. Ooh, that's pretty good because a landmark's not a bad hit now. In fact, we might actually take a landmark here as opposed to a Khahiri if we find him. Okay, well, because we did find a Khahiri, we're gonna take it.
World, I'm Cypher.
Deal Areno. These can bounce off each other, I suppose.
lost,
She's just
yes?
a 5/7 at this point, so I think that's fine. I might want to quicksand this, however. We'll save him for the following turn. I'll make him vulnerable.
Observe the price of ambition.
Would you look at that?
We can always rely on you to keep us safe.
It's not a huge deal.
Chase what you want without mercy.
Actually gonna go.
See what I've learned?
I'm just gonna play giant 6/6. Giant Kahiris at every turn from here on out. Hope that's enough.
Shroud the world in wings.
The void took from me. Now I'll take from it.
I hear the cosmos howling through her.
I've learned what I can to help Acacia. Huh. The sea stars aren't the only twins anymore. Technically, we're the same person. Forget it.
The heavens diminish without my attention.
Such majesty.
Even the void couldn't stop me.
This is the one that's locking down 2 of our units, including our big 13/13, so... I actually might want to shoot this so that they just get less value off of things. Or that they can just do less on their turn. Pretty sure I want to just shoot this. Feels kind of bad because our fearsome units don't care about it as far as combat's concerned, but
My, how they stare.
smaller Khahiri, but still pretty big.
I was so careful not to create a paradox, but we never considered conjoined timelines.
This world is finished. The constellations bow to me. I do love an audience.
I think we'd rather open attacks here, so we're gonna do
No
that.
more wasting time.
Here's hoping he does. My opponent's very chunky deck isn't also running Judgment, but this is, of course, the normal queue, so I'm sure he is. And we're about to get beaten by that. Let's see.
So much for their pedestrian
Of course, they're running 3 of this card. How could I expect anything less? We're actually just dead because like our whole board's locked down, so we can just open on attacks and kill it. So we got to do the thing, but unfortunately our opponent's playing big stun dragons, so stun doesn't care about how big your unit is. It still can't do its thing. If it wasn't for us losing all that tempo, with the stun. Like the second, it wasn't really the third stun dragon that killed us, it was the second one, not getting to attack with our big 13-13 to turn after we played it, kind of stunk for us. I think I'll keep the Psy Scout because it can block a Zoe if we hit a landmark, and we probably prioritize doing that in this case. I think I like the rest of this curve. We want counterfeit copies at some point, probably. We could also... It might be right to fish for a Mystic Shot first, because we don't need counterfeit copies too early. We want to see it eventually, but... Yeah, let's go with this. Exhaust is good too. Depending on what they do on this turn, I might just play out Preservarium.
Trickster never loses because Zoe makes the roses!
I can't interact with that yet, so I guess we'll do that. Although, we might want to exhaust open on attacks the following turn. Rather than give them a chance to play something that can, like, stun this. So yeah, I think we just do that to start, so I can open attacks stun the following turn. Khahiri the Returned. We don't need him yet. He's expensive. I don't think we want the I think we just want more interaction.
Always rely on you to keep us safe.
They didn't play a Zoe turn 1, which of course means they top decked her, which means of course, knowing my luck, they're gonna get a replacement Zoe sooner rather than later.
I turn it like so.
Let's see if they can stop this. They could do it with like double Mystic Shot, or they could have a Get Excited, Mystic Shot plus whatever this thing's card, Death Ray Mark 1. Depends on what their deck is doing. Probably just gonna play Xenotype Researchers the next 2 turns because these make predicting better. And we also want to get, you know, +3/+3 on our units before we start drawing them with Preservarium anyway.
Clever.
I just improvised on the instructions you drafted.
What did they discard? Bastion? Okay. Good to know that they're running Bastions in their deck. Oh, there we go. We drew Khahiri anyway. Do we want to play this as a blocker? I don't think it's necessary. Can kill this the following turn. This only bounces off of it anyway. And like I said, I'd rather put more...
Focus using multiple lenses.
I'd rather make more of this stuff in our deck like really serious threats before we start predicting and drawing.
These jewels are more than mere trinkets.
Didn't find a single one, of course. Is this Spirit? Do we want Spirit Fire? I don't think we need Spirit Fire. It's either Mystic Shot or the Landmark. I think I might want the Landmark. Although we're drawing a lot of cards. It's obviously not predicting, but maybe we'll just take the Mystic Shot.
Wondered what was out there?
Okay, so we'll just kill that then. Actually fine swinging with everything here. Because if he wants to eat the 2/3 with this 3/3, that puts it in range of the Mystic Shot we just put on top of our deck. So even through this gem, so I suppose they could have more ways to heal it, but
Oh, you're interesting.
starting to be glad I took the Mystic Shot here. Probably gonna play Preservarium before we do anything else. Nice. Okay, that's a great draw.
Mortal greed.
Ingenious.
Huh. What do we like? A 2/3 or a card from the top of our deck? I think a card from the top of our deck is worth more than a 2/3 maybe. But at the same time, a 2/3 lets us put out a little bit more pressure. I think we want to keep up with the card advantage.
Out here, you're moving or you're dead.
They're almost certainly going to kill one of our things when we attack, so we can play Preservarium after without getting rid of one of our guys. Opponent recognizing that this is their way of winning this game. So kudos to them for their use of their resources here.
You spurred
We might
my
actually
gift.
be dead next turn.
Hold still.
They're already doing 7. They're almost certainly a Mystic Shot dead, so...
Protect us, sister. Our work.
Another brilliant design.
Wow. Alright, well we're hoping to draw like a Spirit Fire, something. Mystic Shot might do it. Okay, we're hoping this Mystic Shot keeps us alive one more turn.
Another brilliant design.
Oh, yeah, they have that. Never mind, good games. They're playing Elusive Otter Tribal. Very good against our deck. Felt pretty bad considering we had a lot of interaction and it just never mattered. They had the Bastion for one of our Mystic Shots. They hushed one of our vulnerable things. They healed past one of the other vulnerable hits. They just had their draws lined up really, really well into what we were doing. Not to mention they hit the option of creating the 3/3 elusive every time as well. Brom Tarek. I'm in for this exhaust. I'd like to see other plays though. Early stuff. Sure, you have an Omen Hawk. Most likely just gonna play out this 2/3. I suppose if we get a Preservarium, we'd like to do that as well. Is banking spell mana worth it? Just so that we have more predicts post-Xenotype researchers. I think so. Depends on what he does.
These old eyes still see far.
No, I don't know that we want to take more damage than that. Is this going to be a Spirit Fire game? I don't think so. This is mostly in for the Elusives matchup. Like the Burblefish matchups. Could be okay here, but could be. He's probably with Tarek Braum. He's probably running a lot of pump spells and stuff. This is not going to do too much, and it's kind of expensive. I think I'll take the Rune Runner. I don't think we want to count the
We can
copies
always rely on you
quite
to
yet.
keep us safe. I turn it like so.
I'll swing. They probably chump with the 1/1, which means the 2/1 has a better attack, but I'm fine with it. So we can actually hook 2 things on our next turn
Focus using multiple lenses.
because we have
Clever.
Bakai
I
Sand
just
Spinner
improvised on the
plus
instructions
exhaust.
you drafted.
I'm actually gonna start by passing here. Because this is his turn to play Tarek or Braum, and if he wants to pass back, he's burning way more mana than I am.
No slowing down.
Easy for you to say.
So this is going to get a permanent +2/+2. Is that what that does? Yeah, +2/+2. Not a big deal, I guess. What is this? Omen Hawk. Hit it.
Out here, you're moving or you're dead.
So these can, I can eat this if they want to attack, and if they, and if they don't, now we can hook it with vulnerable. There's a Khahiri. So now we definitely want to see our counterfeit copies because a 6 mana 4/4 fearsome is not really something we're interested in. Feel pretty obligated to hook that and attack this turn. But I would like them to play something else that we're interested in hitting with Bakai Sandspinner. So let's start by doing this, because we could still have the mana to do that if we need to. Rite of Negation. What do they have? A lot of their pump spells are burst speed in these two regions, so I don't think we can Rite of Negate that. Is there anything else that they could be playing that I'd be interested in, or do I just want the card advantage? I think I just want card advantage.
Look, I've made a breakthrough.
All right. Show us what you can do.
Okay, sure. Do I want to play that? How much do I think I'm going to need that interaction?
The soul wears away like grains of sand.
Trample 'em!
Pity is for the weak.
I think we're holding up Spirit Fire this round.
Mystical levitation requires concentration.
Yikes.
Go, floaty crystals!
Okay, they're diversifying their threats. That's cool.
Excuse us.
Brave and dumb.
Listen to me.
I'm actually going to do this because it blocks more damage and potentially means we don't have to get rid of the 6/1. They could have ways to pump this, but we can hopefully finish it off with Exhaust plus our big thing if we really need to. I guess they save it and then... Really? Okay.
Just another winter.
I mean, these all die at the end of this round, so it doesn't do much. I guess he just wanted to trade with one of our things. Okay.
Alert the villain!
Okay, well, I'm not going to play around anymore. We're just going to do this, and we're going to use our big thing so they can't heal. Well, this can't kill it anyway, and I also don't want them to be able to interact with this, if possible. I have a bunch of gems, which is kind of scary. Alright, they're gonna see if they can heal it. Cool. Got that scary threat off the table.
We'll take what we want.
Have the second one,
rest
sure.
will burn.
Huh. That's a nice hit. They don't have great open attacks anyway, so it's not that big of a deal.
Let us get going.
So they're gonna hook this so that their
Stand in
thing
trouble
doesn't
far as
die,
the eye can
but
see.
then their Braum dies.
No breaks till the next cliff top.
Uh-huh.
I want to keep double quicksand up.
Focus using multiple lenses.
Clever.
I just improvised on the instructions you drafted.
Let's show our friends the door. Show me your best.
I could disable his recovery keyword, but I don't think that's necessary.
It is easy, see?
There's an exhaust, which is nice. Still don't want to play that out, unfortunately. I guess that's where we begin. It might actually be the Mountain Sojourners, though. This can get pretty scary. Hopefully, between these two cards, we have it locked up for a little bit. I guess the thing we need to worry about now is Tarek plus big boost spell to go with this Sojourners, which would be really, really nasty. Yeah, I like that. That's a permanent buff too, huh? Yikes. And this is only adding 2 more damage, which is really unfortunate.
I cannot be broken!
If they're out there, I'll spot them.
Guess we have to pass, unfortunately. Okay, Mystic Shot's not awful. Alright, smells like they have a second Battle Fury. No, they can't afford it.
Just a little farther.
Good luck. Have fun.
That's not tamper-proof.
That's a lot of damage. I kind of need to use Quicksand on that, huh? Do this.
You lost.
Go here. Do this just so they can't overwhelm through, and then maybe Mystic Shot helps us finish this off if they have something else. Problem now is that they have a really big Braum. And they have a lot of cards in hand. If this Khahiri was big, I'd be feeling a little bit more confident. I mean, they're trading, that's fine.
Another fine scar!
Yeah, not getting the draws we need this game. And we have some pretty bad top decks in the form of unbuffed Khahiri and counterfeit copies at this point. I think we'll go ahead and pack it in then. The game's like not over, but even if we somehow claw our way back into it, it's gonna be a slog. It's gonna be kind of boring. So I'll give it to our opponent. Needed to hit some Kahiris early on so that we'd have big chunkers to answer their big chunkers as they were playing them down, but we had to spend so many cards to keep them in check that we just ran out of gas. Quicksand is a good card, but it is not a silence effect, unfortunately. Do I keep the blind counterfeit copies? Maybe not. This looks like it's like a aggressively slanted deck. Want to make sure that we have early plays, keep ourselves alive. Okay, mid-range control then. Using Severe for her level up, you dealt 35 plus damage. That's true. She doesn't care about actual combat damage, so she's kind of like... You can level her as you're leveling Swain, I suppose. I'm gonna pass and see what they do. If they pass back, it's good. If they play a threat like this, go ahead and do this. There's the Khahiri. I guess we'll go with him since we have the counterfeit copies in hand and more predicts.
I turn it like so.
Maybe this is bad because it's opening myself up to getting killed by these 2/2s, and I could have, if I left this back, I could have traded with 2 2/2s. I think we'll do this before we predict though, because we're a ways off of hitting our 6-mana play anyway, and
Focus using multiple lenses.
Clever.
I just
and
improvised
this
the
makes
instructions you drafted.
any unit in our deck better that we see out of a prediction, Khahiri or not. So. Yeah, sold.
That's not tamper-proof.
I guess we'll start with this and this. Another counterfeit copies. Yeah, I think I'll take
check for
that.
their side. A new journey.
They're probably a Spirit Fire deck themselves, so we'll have to be a little cautious about that. I suppose.
Observe the price of ambition.
So, do I want to play my 5-mana Spell Shield? Because, like, next turn I want to start playing Kahiris and, like, playing a lot of them.
Oh, but let me have a look here.
Disintegrate.
Someone help!
Where's Swain at? He's only at 3. We'll do this before predicting because it puts
Sets
more
up.
copies back in the deck.
Brought you back a few things.
Look how tall you got.
And hopefully we hit 1 or 2 Kahiris off of this. A 10-10 is nice, but you know, a 12-12 or 14-14 is just better. Oh, I don't have the mana. Why did I think I'd be able to play this with
The
stun?
weapon and I are one.
Let me see.
If they want to trade here rather than tack 5 damage onto this guy, I'm fine with that.
Humble yourself.
So I think this attack is kind of free. Like, again, the 2-2 is not a big deal. Could see them play another Sand Spinner on this just to kill it. Sure. Uh-oh, do they have a Swain in hand? Oh, he's not leveled quite yet. Quicksand is nice.
I don't want to meet whatever woke you up.
I've seen the future, and I know my path.
Ten is a big chunk of damage. So I think I'm just supposed to open attacks here. Ruin Runner's kind of a big hit. No, I think we
Couldn't stop me.
The few for the many.
Out here, you're moving or you're dead.
Prepare the cargo! There is no excess when victory is at stake.
Another me? The sisters did warn us.
Oh no.
Okay, so they're gonna get the stun both of our big guys here, unfortunately.
Sky! Victory awaits! Artillery barrage! For Noxus!
We can always rely on you to keep us safe.
Once again, the stun effects are kind of making our deck look silly here.
Is now my penance.
Sure.
My work.
I'm supposed to attack with this for sure. I don't know why. The weird effect made me think this was stun too for some reason. I guess I was thinking too far ahead into next turn. Yeah, we definitely are supposed to attack here, I think. Well, with that play, maybe not. Sure.
That old trick again.
could attack here. They block here. We have to use this, so it's not really worth it.
Fire! The void took from me. Now I'll take from it. We are at war.
See what I've learned?
We'll go ahead and block here. I guess we're just dead, huh? Oh, you know what?
Meet whatever woke you up.
No, I wouldn't have lived this turn then.
Such little lives. Artillery barrage! Bleed for Noxus.
Another me? The sisters did warn us.
Might be able to steal a win here depending on what's in their hand. I think we're done.
I know what I'm worth.
So we hook this to kill it, which lets us survive. Then I guess that's what we do.
No more wasting time.
It can be undone.
The tech's out of this world. I've seen it all.
Wait. Really? You can't pop it? That's so stupid. Is that a bug? They just keep permanent spell shield because she has it? That seems iffy. Oh well. Good chance we lose that game anyway. Even if we survive that combat step, we have to avoid burn spells from him. We have to avoid another Leviathan. Just sad that we got so close. We actually had some big guys, but we were a little too slow. Needed him not to have that Leviathan as early as he did. So they are a Scargrounds deck, so maybe we want Exhaust. Psy Scout could be okay. Throw these other ones back. Mystic Shot and even Spirit Fire, I suppose, could be okay in this matchup. Depends on how early they get the Scargrounds, I guess. How long have we been playing this deck? We might only do one or two more. It's I was only gonna devote about an hour with this deck, and it's not feeling. We're not quite getting there with our Kahiris, unfortunately. I was hoping to do the thing at least once. Our opponents aren't having none of it today. Not quite getting close enough. We'll play you. Sure.
I'll check for their side.
Yep. Like, I honestly don't know if we can even beat this card. We can, but it takes, I think we're a little too slow.
Let us get going.
Excuse me? The next time you summon another ally, deal 1 to it. I see. Interesting. Huh. Well, if you're not gonna let me have fun with my deck, I'm not gonna let you have fun with your deck. I'm moving on. Yeah, we're probably not gonna beat a start like that. That was like the nuts curve for them. 1 drop that turns into a 3/4. Scargrounds instantly get tough, and a tough big Braum with a tough big 3/3 overwhelm Boro. Seems good. Alright, we're just gonna meme right off the get-go. And probably just get run over by whatever our opponent's doing. Probably a reasonably aggressive deck if they're running Renekton. Not gonna spend the mana until we have Predict to use. So. Yep, you got it. Okay. That's a thing. I guess we can start with that.
Sands beneath me and winds behind me.
This cares about when things are summoned, right? Huh. Maybe we want to play this then? Yikes. Take the reroll on the Predict, I suppose. I care about this. I want to play this first. Let's pass and see what our opponent does. I want to just shoot you. Use our spell mana.
My board!
So like we can yeah.
Where I go, carnage follows.
Fortunately, this guy gets a little bit bigger
Surrender.
with that, with his power, so we can't Mystic Shot him. Finish him off here. Play the more expensive thing. Wow. We're probably just gonna Predict again, so it doesn't really matter what I put on top of our deck.
Look here.
Oh, one of those was a Preservarium, wasn't it? Damn it.
Come on, there's so much to see.
Not used to selecting landmarks with this, because I'm usually finding things that I actually want to put on top of my deck. Alright, I think I'm gonna call it with this deck. It's just not doing its thing. So yeah, how to lose 6 games real quick on the ladder? Play this deck. If you want to win games on the ladder, don't touch this deck.